Okay. So good morning, everybody. It's lovely to see so many people here. So my name's Lisa Saunders. I'm Operations Manager at Carers First. And I've been working for carers for the last 10 years in various settings. I manage services across London in Essex and Southend. So Merton's only a small part of my role, but I'm really excited about the work that we're doing in Merton and our joint work that we're doing with MenCap and working with MenCap to support carers in Merton. Next slide, please, Tracy. So you probably don't know much about Carers First. So we are a carer service that supports thousands of carers across the country. We are commissioned to provide the carer service in Merton, and we have our staff teams who work locally with carers in their community. And we're also working in partnership with MenCap to provide support for carers. Next slide, please, Tracy. So this is our what we call our carers journey, and it just highlights the various stages of support that we give to carers and what they can access from our service. It's what we call a blended approach. So carers can access face-to-face support, they can access support online, or they can access support by telephone. It just depends on what you need at what time you need that support and where you need that support from. Our work is very much focused on that prevention of trying to delay and support you to have to get the needs before you reach crisis point. So we're really focused on reaching carers early in their caring role, so you know where to come and get support when you need it. Okay, I'm going to go through each of these areas so that you're aware of what we do at what stage of our carers journey. So at the point of referral, referrals are, you can self-refer by calling our helpline and the telephone numbers on this slide, or you can complete an online form. And so the online form goes through to our helpline, who then call carers and offer them support. We also have for professionals, we also have a professional referral form that they can complete as well. So there's various on our website. You can access this information on our website and and refer yourself into the service if that's what you'd like to do. What I will say also is just on the referral point is you can go to the next slide, Tracy, that's fine. Is that if you're referred into our service and you need to be supported by Yvonne, your referral will go through to Yvonne. So it doesn't matter which way you come through the service, you will reach the right person who needs to support you. So this is just a slide around making the connections and around what our helpline does. Anne-Marie Shepherd is our helpline manager, and unfortunately she couldn't be here today because she's not very well. So I've got her slides just to give you a bit of an overview about what the helpline do. So the helpline team has specialist skills covering mental health, dementia, autism, learning and development, older person care, young carers. They support carers, young adult carers and young carers, and there's numerous members of staff in the team that work with carers. They call carers who have been referred into us, or they answer calls from carers calling into the helpline. They have lots of experience and knowledge, and they were also a finalist in the National Helpline Partnership Awards in 2022 and 2023. So they have lots of knowledge, lots of experience, and lots of information. So when you call into our helpline, we are as I said previously, you can speak to you through the website, through emails, and on the telephone. We're also in the autumn of this year, we'll be launching our new web chat, so you can kind of chat to them on a live platform on our website as well. The helpline support advisors, they take the referrals, they'll triage them and look at who needs the need. Sometimes when they do those referrals, they might decide actually this needs to go straight out to our community staff, so that you might miss being supported by having a phone call from the helpline and go straight out to the community staff who will give you a call. And they always like refer into the right service. So from the helpline, they'll also refer into Yvonne to support you as well. Next slide. Yeah, you can just next slide, because I just covered that. So this is just really around what they do in the helpline. So the helpline section is that conversation 1 and 2, where they're like finding out what support you need, giving you information, advice and guidance, looking at what's in the local community that can help and support you. And it also could be national information that can give you that help, at that immediate help that you need at that time when you call into the helpline. And then that moves into sometimes actually from the helpline, you might not need any further assistance. The helpline may have given you all the information you need and you're okay and you've got what you'll need at the time. But occasionally, yep, they want to refer you into the community. And what our helpline do is they send a direct message to Yvonne or one of our community staff to give you a call and explain what it is that you need, so they have that information when they call you back. So it works really, really well with the helpline and the community, because they share the information about your call, what it is you're needing information on, so they can look that up before they actually give you a call back. Next slide, please. And this is just a little bit about what carers have said about our helpline in the past. So we send out carers surveys, and the feedback from, I think it was Q3 of last year, showed that there was 70% of carers who had contacted the helpline felt that their needs were met. And that's across all the localities that we work in. So that's really good that, 70% of the carers that call into the helpline feel that their needs have been met by the helpline and they feel supported. So roughly around 30% of the carers that call into our helpline move on through into our community staff. Next slide, please. So that's a bit about the helpline and the support the helpline can give you. They've got a whole range of information and advice. You can call them, even if you think, oh, actually, I'm not sure where to go to get help from, not sure who I should be talking to, the helpline are there to guide you. There's no wrong questions. It's not a problem. We will help you and get you into the right service and help you where we can. The next part of our service is that engagement and access to our services. So we have our website, we have e-news that gets emails out. We have a What's On guide that gets posted. We have our carer support group that happens in Merton. We also have learning activities. Most of those are online, and we complete wellbeing activities for carers as well. Next slide, please. So this is just a slide showing our website for Merton, and this is just so you can see what that looks like if you clicked onto that page. It just kind of gives an overview of carers in Merton, how many carers there are, and it shares where the support information is. Next slide, please. On our website, we have lots and lots of information. There's you can search by your carer situation. You can also share about the condition of the person you're caring for. We have numerous ones of those. So we have there's learning disabilities. We also have ones around dementia. But then there's also around topics. So if you want to know about budgeting, around staying well as a carer, there are lots and lots of advice topics that you can look on as well to get advice. But if you're not sure where to find the information, you can still call back to our helpline and they'll direct you and tell you where that information is that you can find and have a read of. Next slide, please. So also on our website, we also have our care activities that we have on there. So we have on this one, it's showing our couple of our online activities. Our Care to Relax Pilates class, that's online. We have a Working Wednesday, that's for carers who work. So we have a monthly online meeting with carers who work, and that's I think in the evenings. There's also we have our coffee and conversation, which is in Merton. And we also have a young adult carers chill and chat session for the young adult carers to get together. And that's not just young adult carers in Merton, that's also from across the country. So they're meeting other people who are in a similar situation to themselves. Next slide, please. We also, just to say that we also have a Facebook page as well for carers. We have a Facebook community. It's a closed community group, so you can kind of be in a safe space and talk to your other carers in a similar situation to yourself. I'm going to hand over to Karen now to talk about the other elements of what she does and information that's available to any carers who are registered with Carers First or with MenCap.
Thank you, Lisa, very much for that. Can everybody hear me okay? Interesting that you can. Before I start on my presentation, I'd just like to say that I think one of the most useful things that I've found on a website, which is something that's really simple, is that Lisa's mentioned that there are the different topic areas and also different carer conditions. But I was at a meeting the other day and hadn't quite realised that the website also has a lot of templates and checklists and toolkits. And I think one of the simplest things that people should be doing, if you haven't done so already, is that when you are a carer, does your doctor know that you're registered as a carer? That's one simple thing that, if you don't take anything else away from this meeting, that you really should do, is to make sure that you're registered as a carer with your doctor, because that can obviously open up some entitlements for you. So, for example, when the COVID jabs were coming out, carers, if you were registered as a carer with your doctor, then you kind of were registered or acknowledged as a higher priority. So carers actually got their jab before the rest of the general population. But actually on our website, we have a standard letter that anybody can just print off, that states that actually I am a carer, and all you have to do is write in your name and take that letter to the doctor's surgery, and that will prove to the doctor that you are a carer. So we've kind of done all the hard work for you. And I think some things that simple just takes away carers having to do a little bit more bureaucracy, a bit more paperwork. We've done all that for you. So that's just something that I wanted to say, because I just hadn't realised that we've got things like that on the website, and I just thought that that was really helpful for people who might not be aware that those things are available. So my name's Karen Johnson. I work for Carers First. I am our Trusts and Foundations fundraiser. So my day job is to apply for grant funding. So as Lisa said at the start, we have been asked by the local authority to deliver carer services across Merton. However, if we want to do anything that falls outside of that contract, then we need money to obviously be able to do that. And that's what my job is. My job is to fill in grant application forms to maybe the National Lottery, to BBC Children in Need, to local trusts and foundations, to bring in extra income to the charity so that we can give carers more and wider experiences, really. And a lot of the funding that I do is either for staff posts or for the wellbeing activities that were on the slide before that Lisa went through with you. In addition to the grant funding, though, that we've been able to secure for carers, we do actually have two more offers. Can you just go back a slide, please? We do actually have two more offers that I just wanted to talk to you about today. The first one being what's called the National Data Bank. So for those of you who don't know, Carers First have applied to the National Data Bank and were successful in obtaining SIM cards for your mobile phone. So we can offer all carers that are registered with us a free SIM card. And they are for the two different networks at the moment. So that's either with Vodafone or three network supplier. And to be able to apply for a SIM card, you must be aged over 18 and also live in a low income household. However, I would argue that living in a low income household is what all carers and what the whole population are doing really at the moment. Times are hard. We're going through a cost of living crisis, so that people are struggling financially. So I wouldn't worry too much about those two eligibility criteria. And then you have to meet one of the following statements, which is that you have no access or insufficient access to the internet at home, no or insufficient access to the internet when away from home, or you're just struggling to afford either your contract or your pay-as-you-go or your mobile top-up. What I will say at this point is that although we can only distribute the SIM cards to people over 18, what you do with those SIM cards is based on trust. So I know a lot of carers who have applied for these SIM cards, and once they've received them, have actually given them to somebody in their family who's younger than 18. But for administration purposes, we have to distribute them to somebody who is aged actually over 18. You can apply for more than one per household. So if there's two parent carers in the household, then you can both have one. As long as the SIM cards are going to support you in your caring role, that's absolutely fine. So next slide, please. So at the moment, we haven't got any O2 SIM cards. I'm afraid I'm just waiting delivery on those. So I won't explain anything about how those ones work. But the Vodafone SIM card that we can offer you is 40 gigabyte of data per month and free UK texts and calls per month. And then it says there it's for 6 months. So what happens is that the SIM card, once you've popped it inside your mobile phone, it will work for 6 months. After the 6 months, we can always issue you with another SIM card as well, so that you get 12 months worth of support. However, initially it will only come with the 6 months worth of support. It's only UK texts and calls. You can't take it abroad and make any either at this point in time. So as soon as you put the SIM card in your phone, it will work. You can keep your current phone number if you obviously don't want to be ringing around friends and family and professionals to let them know that you have changed your number. You just need to contact your current supplier and ask for a pack code. So that's not a problem. The thing with the 3 SIM card is that it's only data. So you can't make any text or phone calls with this one. It's just data only. And once you've used your 24 gigabyte of data, it's finished. However, again, once you've used your 24 gig, we can then reissue you with another SIM card as well. This offer with the National Data Bank is available at the moment until December next year. So if you are already in a contract with O2, Vodafone, EE, Tesco's, whoever, you might want to apply for a SIM card now, or you could wait if it's before December next year and apply at any point between then and now for a SIM card. I'm happy to take some questions at the end around those, because I appreciate that that's just a quick kind of tour of what the SIM cards can offer. So next slide, please. So the next offer that I just wanted to talk to you about is what's called carefree breaks. And I know that this has already proven popular, I think, Yvonne, hasn't it, with some of the carers that you've already spoken to. Carefree are a national charity, and they cover the whole of the UK, of which Carers First have signed up to be a referral partner. So we've paid a membership so that we can refer any of the carers who are registered with us at the moment to one of their breaks. So what the aim of Carefree is that they turn vacant accommodation at hotels across the whole country into rooms for carers. And their aim is that every single carer should have 1 break per calendar year. That's their aim. So as Carers First staff, and again with Yvonne, we can refer carers for 1 break per calendar year. We only need to refer you once. So for as long as you stay within your caring role or have caring responsibilities, you will be entitled to 1 carer's break per year. Okay, to date, I think this is quite amazing. We have referred over 919 carers, of whom 167 have taken a break. And when you have taken a break, they have a feedback form. And at the moment, it's proven that 85% of carers felt better able to cope with their caring role after their carefree break, and 95% saw an improvement in their well-being. I think those figures are actually quite staggering. So it just actually shows what a difference just having a couple of days away from caring responsibilities can actually do for your mental and physical health. Next slide, please. So like I said, Carefree want every carer to have access to a break. So what happens is that there are breaks available, which can either be 1 or 2 nights stay. And the majority of them are bed and breakfast. It depends upon the hotel that you choose. There are a selection of hotels across the whole of the country. There are quite a lot in London, but there are also some in England, Scotland, Wales, and I think there's just a couple in Northern Ireland as well. To be eligible for this, you must care for somebody for over 30 hours a week. However, we're not going to specifically ask you to provide a breakdown. We take it on trust, really, that you really are a kind of almost a full-time carer with your responsibilities. And you also have to be registered with Carers First, for us to be able to make that referral for you. If you're not currently registered with Carers First, you can self-refer. But what I would say is that this is a longer process, and you actually have to validate and prove that you're a carer. So when you go in, it asks a lot more questions, and you have to upload proof that you're a carer. However, if Carers First or Yvonne do it for you, then there's no proof, because we're a carer agent at Carers Support Service. They take it that we know that you're a carer already. And also, when you book a break, you have to be able to get there yourself. And they're not going to pay for any transport, train or travel costs or petrol to get you there. It's not going to cover any sitting service for you while you're away. And while you're there, you must pay for your own food. However, most of them do offer breakfast. Most of the hotels do offer breakfast. So it's just food throughout the day that you'll need to find money for yourself. And I think this is the big criteria really, which is why I've saved it till last, is that you cannot take the person that you care for with you. I appreciate then that this might mean that a lot of you or some carers might not be able to attend or go away for a break. I understand that. However, this is supposed to be a break for you to improve your well-being so that you can kind of then come back and hopefully be not a better carer. That's not what I want to say, but through your improved emotional well-being, you will hopefully be more resilient. You'll feel empowered to take on those caring responsibilities. However, you can take somebody with you if you wanted to. Be prepared though, because the majority of rooms that are available are either twin rooms or double rooms. You can choose. If you take somebody with you, you have to share the room with that person. So it must be somebody that you know quite well or be prepared to share a room with. Or you could go on your own. That's absolutely fine as well. And the pictures that are on these slides, I will say, these are actual hotels that are available. So this is the Marriott at London, which is just one of the hotels which is available for breaks for carers. So next slide, please. So this is the process that either a member of our staff or Yvonne would need to go through with you, is that we can make a referral to Carefree for you. Once that referral's been made, and I will say it will probably take about 2 minutes, the registration referral form is very short. Basically, it just wants all of your contact details and just the criteria, either an adult, child, spouse of the person that you care for. That's all it needs. And then once you've been referred, you will receive an email with a link to the Carefree Bookings Hub. And essentially then that's ours, Carers First and Merton Mencap's job done. Once we've made that referral, we don't get involved in any of the bookings with the hotels. You will receive a direct link into the booking hub, and it's then up to you to liaise with Carefree Breaks around the booking for the break. So you can book straight away once that you've got the link, or you can take your time, because what I will say is that the availability with the hotels changes daily. So if there's nothing suitable today, have a perhaps look at the weekend or next week. However, because you're going to be referred, if you're going to get registered now, it's June, isn't it, at the moment? If you don't book and take a break by December, you've missed out. It means you've just not had a break in 2024. What you will do, though, is get a reminder in 2025 that you can book another break for 2025. However, what we want to do is try and encourage carers to take a break every calendar year. So the sooner you book something and get something kind of penciled in before December, then obviously then you can book and have 2 breaks. What I will say is that all carers in London at the moment, if you book a break before the end of June, so you've got 12 days, you'll get a second break this calendar year. So it's almost like a buy one, get one free at the moment, which is a great offer. I'm not quite sure why they've just picked London carers, but it's something that is just currently available to carers who are living in London. So if you are interested, please come and ask me some questions at the end or outside of this meeting, and I can go through how it all works in a bit more detail. But like I say, if you book before the end of June, you can have 2 breaks this calendar year. When we say a free break, it's free to Carers First because we've signed up as a service. However, only at the time of booking, and it's only at the time of booking. If you don't book a break, you don't pay anything. Only at the time of booking that break do you pay £33 directly to Carefree, basically to cover their administration costs. They're a charity, they need to keep running, they need to cover their operational costs, and they just ask for a £33 kind of admin fee, which if you work it out, if you take a friend with you for 2 nights to a hotel, say in London, that's £33 for 2 of you for 2 nights bed and breakfast, which I don't think is really that bad an offer really for what you get for that. So I think that's my final slide, but like I say, I'm more than happy to take questions at the end. Yvonne can refer carers to a Carefree break, and also myself, and I think our contact details are on the next slide, Tracy. Oh, no, they're not. Sorry, I beg your pardon. What I will quickly run through is as the Trust and Foundations fundraiser, what I didn't mention is that I'm also registered with Carers First. So I'm a carer for my husband who's permanently paralysed. So I was eligible to go on a Carefree break. So it isn't just some people have said to me in the past, what's the catch? This sounds a bit too good to be true. There is no catch at all. So this is a hotel that I stayed at in Chester. It's called the Mill Hotel and Spa. I had a 2-night break. I went on my own, basically because I just wanted some space to be me, I suppose, really, and just do what I wanted to do when I wanted to do it. Buffet breakfast was included with the £33 that I paid. I had a lovely double room there, which is a photograph of the room that I had. The title of the hotel might have given it away in the fact that there was a spa there. So there was a swimming pool, steam room, jacuzzi, gym, and a sauna. It was in the middle of Chester, so perfect location, and there was free car parking. Next slide, please. And so this is just a feedback that we've had from carers as well who have actually been on a break. So I'll just give you a minute just to read through this kind of feedback. Hopefully that just reiterates what I've been kind of saying, is that this is a really good opportunity for you to take a break from your caring roles. And if there isn't anything available at the moment, to revisit the website once we've referred you in a couple of, even in a week, month's time. But like I say, if you book something before the end of June, then you get a second break as well for this calendar year. And I think it's the next slide that's hopefully got our contact details on. No, I'm going to get it right next time. So the final thing I wanted to speak to you about then is our Days Out directory, which is on our website. So there's a link there on the slides. This is just to say that as a carer, you are entitled to subsidised or discounted days out at various places, not just across London, but here are some examples that I've put down across London. So the London Eye, the Tower of London, London Zoo, the Sky Gardens, all offer discounts or free carer spaces if you take the person that you care for with you. So it's just really to say that obviously during the cost of living crisis, we're all trying to save money. So these are there's a directory there that you can search by kind of different types of attractions and also by location to save you some money. Next slide, please. And it's this slide that's got our contact details on. So if anybody's got any questions about the breaks or the SIM cards, then please contact myself or Yvonne and we can complete both of the application forms for you. Carers are entitled to both. You can have a SIM card and a carefree break referral. It's not one or the other. Okay, and that's my presentation. I think I'm handing over to, is it yourself, Yvonne? Or
It's me. It's back to me.
back to Lisa.
Back to me. So thank you, Karen. So all of that we've just spoken about is available to anybody that is registered with Carers First. You don't have to have a carers assessment to access any of that. It's all available if just by being registered with Carers First. So the next part I'm going to talk about in the carers journey is about like what we call personal action plans. So this could be the one-to-one support with our community staff or Yvonne, having a carers assessment and having a support plan created. So the carers assessments are there to identify what support you require as a carer, to talk about your caring role and help reduce the impact of that caring role, how that's affecting you, what's that stopping you from doing, and what is it what matters most to you, and trying to meet your outcomes. So identify what it is that you want to do that you can't do at the moment because of your caring role, and trying to support you to be able to do that. We also as I complete carers emergency plans, and we also refer to other services. Slide, please. So this slide just kind of puts it on a whole picture that just shows the different types of support that we give. So we have a dedicated team that understands the needs of adult carers, and we provide them with regular support. We aim to equip the carers with the skills and knowledge they need to have a good maintain a good life balance. We talk through the carer situation. We have also what's called tailored programs of support that help support carers according to their needs. So it could be around your caring role. It could be about the fact that you're struggling to manage at home because of your caring role, or get time for yourself. So like the time for you breaks of, they're excellent for with the carefree breaks, so you can make some time for yourself, helps you your well-being, and gives you a break from your caring role. We also will get advised on your finances and making sure you're getting the right support there. And if you're wanting to get back into work or into education and training, we'll support with helping carers get back into those areas. Next slide, please. So after you've had a carers assessment, if there's any additional support that you need, longer term support, we will make those referrals to adult social care. We also do referrals to safeguarding for those carers who there are concerns, there's difficulties that they're having with keeping somebody safe. So we'll support with advocating on carers' behalf to make sure that the person they're caring for or themselves are kept safe. We refer to other community services, and we support the carers in trying to prevent you from having a carer breakdown. Next slide, please. So after we've done our carers assessment, we've been working with you, supporting you. The support plans are all in place. We review those support plans at 6 to 12 weeks. So what that means is our staff will call you to say the plan that we put in place, is that working? Do we need to make any tweaks? And they'll just give you a call just to make sure what was in place is working. And if it isn't, then we'll look and see what we need to do to just make some changes or tweaks to your plan. So it does work. We also have what's called a check-in and chat session that's run by our volunteers. And for those carers we've not had an engagement with for maybe around 6 months or more, we'll give those carers a quick call, just say, how you doing? Is everything okay? Do you need anything from us? Often carers don't need anything and they're okay, but occasionally we do find a carer says, yeah, actually, I do need some help. And this has come from feedback from carers during lockdown, and they said to us, we don't remember to phone when we're struggling, when we need help, or it would be just nice to have somebody just give us a quick call to see how we're doing. So we do the check-in and chats. And then a year after you've had your carers assessment and you've got a support plan in place, we give you a call back to say, how's everything going? Is the plan still working? If it's not working, we stop the annual review and we book you in for another carers assessment to relook at what your caring role is. It may be that things have changed in your caring role, that actually it's worse than it was previously, or things are better and actually you're not needing some other services that you've had previously. So the annual review is there just to check that everything is still working, that what you have in place is that going okay, and if it isn't, to do another assessment. Next slide, please. Now I'll hand over to Yvonne, who will just talk you through a little bit more about how she supports carers and what she can offer.
Thank you, Lisa. Good morning, everyone. It's lovely to see you all today. So I'm Yvonne Dawes. I'm the Merton MenCap Carers Advisor. And I work, I'm based in MenCap. I work for MenCap, but I'm working in partnership with our new provider, Carers First, and really excited to do that with all the offers that they've been explaining today. I'm sure we're going to offer you so much more support than we have done. So just to let you know that I've been Carers Advisor here at Merton MenCap for the last 5 years. And just to reassure you, nothing changes. I'm still here. You can still contact me on my normal contact numbers. And I'm the person that's got the ear to the ground when it comes to support for you within Merton. So having been here for 5 years, I've got very strong links with the learning disability team, with all the voluntary sector organisations in the borough, and also with my colleagues here at MenCap. So for example, if I'm supporting you and I'm offering information and advice through your carers assessment and you're struggling to act on that yourself, we have Carolyn, who's our carers caseworker, who can come and support you. So I'm really embedded here in MenCap, really embedded here in the community to offer you that kind of community person-centred support. So how can I help? So as Lisa was saying, your first port of call might be the helpline at Carers First, and they will always contact me if you need some extra advice and support. So I can give you that information, advice, guidance. You don't necessarily need to have a carers assessment. If you just want some piece of advice, some information, please come to me and I will help you with that. And of course, I'm carers advisor, and my specialism is supporting adults of carers with a learning disability and autism. So anything related to that I can help with. If you're finding that you need a bit more support, I can offer you a carers assessment appointment and that really is a longer chat about your carer needs. A lot of carers, when I speak to them, have never had an opportunity to sit down and talk to someone about what's going on in their life. And that's your opportunity to do that with me. And I really sort of take care and time and give you, we have a lot of time to talk things through. And a lot of carers that I speak to quite often don't realise how their caring role is impacting on their life until they can have that conversation with me. And a lot of carers don't realise what's out there to support them until they have that conversation with me. So that's essentially what a carer's assessment is. And it's just a way to access support. And then, as Lisa was saying, to continue that support and check in with you to make sure that's all working for you. And I'm going to, from that discussion, go away and really think about what's out there to support you. So, for example, we've been talking about all the offers that Carers First have, and Karen was talking about things like the carefree breaks and the discounts. That's something I can help you access. Alongside everything else. For example, there are new services that have come up in Merton in the last few years that carers don't know about. If you're caring for example, an adult with high-functioning autism, there's now a neurodiverse service in the borough that can offer one-to-one support for your cared-for person. There's a behavioural support service, drop-in service at All Saints. So there's all these different things. I've got my ear to the ground. And when I'm having that conversation with you, I'm thinking, right, okay, this person can be supported in this way. I'll put together a support plan and an action plan, as Lisa was mentioning, share that with you so you know exactly what I'm doing and what we can do together to support you in your caring role. Next slide, please. So here's some of the examples of the support that you can access through speaking to me and the carers assessment. So I can refer you to money saving support. Karen was mentioning that this is an issue for many, many carers struggling on low income. You've been caring for years and decades, and that can quite often have an impact on your income. So we have the new offers from Carers First, but here in the community, we have things like Don's Local Action Group, who offer free food parcel delivery for up to 8 weeks. We have our welfare benefit service here in the borough, and I have strong links with Citizen Advice, and I can fast track you to an appointment with an advisor there to help you think about whether you're receiving all your welfare benefits or how to increase your income, or to maybe look at things like discounts for fuel bills. I can refer you to carers groups and activities in Merton, or for emotional support. So, for example, Merton Carers First have a conversation and chat group once a month, and we here at MenCap run groups through Talk Autism and all our different events. For emotional support, for example, Wimbledon Guild are running a free counselling service for those of you in the community who are from Black and minoritized groups. And I can refer you to our MenCap caseworker, Carolyn. Quite often, I can advise you till the cows come home, but if you're really overwhelmed in your caring role, if you've got so much on, or if you find English as an additional language, or if you've got some needs of your own and you're finding it very difficult to access these things I'm suggesting or advising, Carolyn can come on board to support you with that. Next slide, please. So some more just additional things of examples of support. I can help you refer your cared for person to services to lessen your caring impact on your life. So for example, I'm quite often coming across and speaking to carers whose cared for person has never had an adult needs assessment. So I may be able to advise you on the way in which you can refer your cared for person or speak to your family member, your cared for person, about getting a needs assessment. And through the carers assessment, if I've seen that you're eligible and you've got some really high needs and your caring role is so overwhelming, I might be able to recommend funding for a sitting service and request that the Merton Council have a look at that and consider that. I might also be able to recommend you for some financial support through the Carers Discretionary Grant and make recommendations to the council that you receive that as well. Next slide, please. So if you want to contact me and you want to have a carers assessment or information and advice, you can contact me through the normal channels that you've always been able to contact me. So we have our office-based telephone number and the email address. You can call Carers First helpline, and as has been previously mentioned, they will speak to you, they will advise you at the initial stage, and then pass all your information straight on to me and I can contact you. And you can have a carers assessment with me in a number of ways. We can do this over the phone to make it as convenient as possible for you. Or if you want to come and see me at the MenCap Chaucer Centre, we can do that. Or I can come to you, to your home. Whatever's the best way in which you can get your carers assessment, you know, we will help you with that. And as I said, you know, here are my contact details. Yvonne, carers advisor. And please give me a ring or contact our main office if you want to speak to me. Just to let you know that my service runs all day Monday, all day Tuesday and Wednesday mornings. And I look forward to speaking to you all soon. Thanks.
Thank you, Yvonne. What I will also just mention is if you're caring for somebody who has a learning disability and but you're also caring for another carer, so it could be that you're caring for an elderly relative as well. You can come to Yvonne and get support. Yvonne will also be able to reach out and work with Carers First as well to support your caring role for an adult or a young person who that you know that you're caring for as well that has a different need that's not relating to the learning disability. So we do work very closely together. We do share information. So if you need support for an additional person that you're caring for, you can speak to Yvonne about it and she'll make sure you get the right information, or you'll be speaking to one of our carer advisors in the community in Merton who have knowledge around that. So it could be somebody with mental health needs that you need support with. So you know, don't worry if you're caring for somebody else as well and you're not sure which service to go to, because Yvonne and the rest of the staff will make sure you get to the right service with the help that you need. Okay. Next slide, please. So for this last bit, I'm just going to mention around young carers because we do have the young carers contract in Merton as well. So I'm just going to briefly talk about that and just make you aware that if you have a young person in your family that's under the age of 18, you want to go to the next slide, Tracy, sorry, what support's available to them. So we do targeted one-to-one support within the school settings for young carers. We're going to be organising term time programmes of activities and half-time activities for young carers. We also hold webinars, and we have videos and case studies for young carers so they can kind of relate to what's going off in their caring role and understand what support's available for them. We also do termly like an e-newsletter for young people, just to help them understand what's available to them, how they can have a break from their caring role, and have somebody to talk to who's experienced with working with young people and giving them that emotional support that they need. Next slide, please. So we also have a Young Carers website, and this is just a kind of a screenshot of that website, and it talks about actually staying well as a young carer, helping young carers manage breaks and getting into help at school and at college as a young carer, and supporting them, because sometimes young carers struggle with staying in school, worried about the person they're caring for, wanting to make phone calls during school hours, and it's about just working with the school and just making those reasonable adjustments for that young carer so they feel confident and comfortable going to school and not worrying about the person that they're caring for. Next slide, please. think that might be the last one. So just to say on the young carers, if you know a young carer, you can refer them on the same way on our website page or call the helpline, and our staff are there in the school settings to help and support those young people. We can see young carers at home, but we prefer to see them in their school setting so that the school can give that support to that young person as well. And that's the end of our presentation. Thank you very much for having us.
Thank you so much. Wow, what a really great presentation full of so much useful information, and really interesting to hear about the helpline and the great deals that you've got on offer. So thank you so much. I'm just going to pause the recording.